Welcome, friends, to another episode of MANOVAAC Revelation in Words by Guruji Naushir. I'm Chanchal, and today I'll be asking some questions to Guruji. Guruji, my question today is: how does a person on spiritual path view injustice and cruelty going on in the world? For example, domestic violence, rape, murder, terrorism, etc. Do we remain silent spectators and witness what is happening, assuming this is individual karmic workout, or do we rise up and fight the dark forces they represent? How do we know when to raise our voice against injustice to others and when to mind our own business?
See, I'll answer this question in two parts. One is uh, what an empowered person can do, and one is what an ordinary person can do. Now, an empowered person can be a spiritually empowered person or empowered by law, legally. When you are an empowered entity and you want to be some kind of an activist and take up these kind of causes, yes, by all means, do not be silent. Do what is in your capacity with the empowerment that you have. Like, for example, there are saints and sages who are extremely powerful. They have certain amazing siddhis. They also help to rectify the balance on the planet, the balance of energy on the planet. And one way you can rectify the energy of the planet is by changing the consciousness. So, what they tend to do is they tend to influence a certain number of people, which we call the critical mass. And if they influence that critical mass in a very positive, highly positive way, there is a change in consciousness of the entire species. So, if you are in that space, or if you have that ability, then you try to change the consciousness of the critical mass so that the rest of the humanity, their thinking, their negative actions will begin to change. This is the principle of critical mass. Or if you directly want to intervene and do something, yes, but that is on a very limited scale that you can do. In the case of other empowerment like political, financial empowerment or legal empowerment, yes, if you are in a position to do something, definitely do it. I mean, but then you have to also face the consequences of it, and that would be at a very human level. But you don't stand by to see injustice if you are empowered to counter it and fight against it and fight against the forces of darkness. In fact, all saints and sages fight against the forces of darkness in different ways. They may be subtle ways, they may be direct ways. Now, if you are not empowered, but you just live an ordinary life, then you have to, then there is nothing you can do on a large global scale unless you want to become an activist, in which case you have to be ready to face the difficulties that are thrown and the challenges that are thrown at your feet. So, if you want to become that, then there is nothing to stop you from doing it. It may succeed, may not succeed. But I would say stop the injustice and cruelty around you. So, which is in your family or your friends or a very close circle of people that you can influence. Stop the bullying, stop the hassling, stop the torture, stop the cruelty. At least you can do that without getting violent, without getting revengeful, because that will increase your karma. So then you are not really helping yourself. But if you can do it dispassionately, and effectively without injuring or harming the
Anyone else?
other person, yes, then I think yes, it's a good idea. I mean, you can, you don't need to keep quiet about it. But as I said, do not go to the extent of incurring karma, because the moment the feeling of revenge comes in or the feeling of hatred comes in, then you're likely to increase your karma. If you hurt that other person who is indulging in the cruelty or in the negative actions, so you have to see that you are not crossing your boundaries either. Otherwise, you'll just keep increasing karma. I mean, it will be tit for tat all the time.
So, my next question is then, are we not interfering in the karmic workout between both the parties?
Well,
The one who's inflicting and one
yes,
who's
yes,
suffering.
yes. Sometimes it is interference. So, as I said,
How do we see that?
as long as you are not using any kind of physical obstruction, uh, and doing it in a more humane kind of a way, it's not necessary you'll succeed. So if it is a karmic workout, you probably won't succeed.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're going to use violence, or if you're going to counter it with violence, then yes, you might be interfering in somebody's karmic workout. So you have to be a little careful, but not necessarily that you have to keep quiet every single time. Or you could choose to help in non-interfering ways, like healing the person or communicating, soul communication, whatever way. So that doesn't interfere. Or energetic methods of changing that person's attitude, healing that person attitudinally. That would be the most safe. That I would say that was the safest way to do it.
So then, how does people revolution come into the picture? Is that managed by saints and
Those are
sages?
those are
So a big
major.
change when it is where
When they're
people
due,
get together
yeah.
and
Then these kind of leaders come up, and these they assume certain roles, sometimes negative and positive,
right.
and then they bring about global change. But those are mandated, and
They are managed from
they are
behind.
not not managed from behind, I would say, but they are in the blueprint of that person.
Okay.
So that person has taken birth to play that role and to bring about that change. So even a villain
Right.
would have agreed to play that role to bring about a change. And so would be the victim, and so would be the savior. So all three are playing a role. End of the day, it's all an illusion. So each one is playing their role.
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay.
Thank you, friends. This brings us to the end of this episode. We'll see you again next time.